good morning. Welcome to my live lesson today on inequalities. If you're joining live, then feel free to use the live chat to ask questions, answer questions and take part. If not, then hopefully this lesson will still cover a lot of the material that might help you understand inequalities a bit better. I'm going to introduce what an inequality is, and then I'm going to talk to you about how we represent it, how you read them, and also how you write them, so that we can hopefully understand a bit more about how inequalities are used, what they're used for, and get better at doing it. After you've finished that, in the description below there is a BBC bite-sized quiz. Rather than doing a worksheet today, I've got a link to a quiz where you can do the quiz, see if you can get 10 out of 10, and if not, try it again, and hopefully you'll be able to gradually get better and better at your understanding. It's got some information on the BBC Bite-Sized website as well, so you can learn from that if you need to. But hopefully, my lesson will cover everything. Let's get straight into it. So I'm going to go straight over to my whiteboard studio today, and I'm going to be working mainly on there, and I will just adjust that so I can see if anyone's got any questions. Good afternoon, Bella. Nice to see you. Good afternoon, Willow. Nice to see you. And whoever Regeneration is, good afternoon to you as well. If you ever want to, have got a name where you haven't got your name and you want me to use your name when I'm saying hello, feel free just to put your name in front of any meeting, any greeting or anything you type. That way I can always know who I'm talking to. So what we've got here, first of all, what is an inequality? Normally, when we're talking about things, we say, there's 5 apples. There are 7 hippopotamuses. I don't know, hippopotami. I don't know why I'm seeing 7 hippopotami and what they're doing on my shelf. Get off my shelf. Now, when we don't know the exact amount, but we know there's at least something, we would say, there's at least 4. There's more than 6. There's less than 7, but I don't know exactly how many. Now, in maths, we write this as follows. Instead of equalities, for example, we could say an equality would be that 2 and 2 is equal to 4. We know that. But if I knew that my potatoes added to my lettuce was less than 7, but I didn't know exactly what it was, I would write it like that, as an inequality. This is an equality because they are equal. This is an inequality because, afternoon to Nina and Kai, and this is an inequality because they are not equal. So we're interested in not equals. Now, how does this work? Well, if we've got something like x is less than 7, and you'll notice I had potatoes and letters, I could easily have x being a number. What we can do is we can draw it on our number line. We draw a straight line. We write where 0 is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And an arrow goes on to show the number line's go on forever. Now, Mr. Harris needs to move where his 0 is because it needs to be every space like that. Then we've got here 1, 2, and I'm going to put a 0 here. And I want a slightly thicker line. And you have to make the noise. If you're doing inequalities, obviously always make the noise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Minus 1, minus 2. And you don't actually have to write all the numbers. You could just write the number of the thing that you wanted and the 0 probably. What I'm going to do is say, because x is less than 7, we're going to put a circle at 7 and then draw a line left of the circle, showing all the places to the left of it. And that line goes on forever, so we can even put an arrow on the end if we wanted to show that this is all the numbers less than 7. We can even say what they are. The integers. Now, it's quite important for this topic to know the word integer. The integers are the whole numbers. So if someone said to me, "Excuse me, Mr. Harris," maybe they have got that voice, we don't know. They said, "Excuse me, Mr. Harris, what are the integers that fit this inequality?" We'd say, well, first of all, let's just use normal words. What whole numbers are less than 7? Okay, well, we've got 6, 5, 4, 3, and we could carry on counting down forever. Like, thank you very much. Because that might be what they say. Now, there are 2 different types of things we need to be aware of. We have less than and greater than. And I I've spoken to my students that I teach a lot about this. I hate the crocodile method. I hate talking about crocodiles. And the reason I hate crocodiles is because crocodiles don't eat numbers. They eat little children. They don't eat numbers. So instead of crocodiles, I like to think, well, we read this direction. We read left to right. So if I am reading there and I get to the big end first, this must be greater than. If I read and I get to the small end first, this must be less than. So just think about reading it. What end am I getting to first? If, however, I want to do this, this means greater than or equal to. So it could be including the number that we're talking about. This changes the thing, because if I just add this line here, x is less than or equal to, first of all, our list needs to include 7 now, and we colour in the dot. The dot gets coloured in. Let's copy our number line so we don't have to draw it again, but let's go on to a new slide and let's talk about some other ones I can do. Let's try and get it to line up. So, what about x is greater than 2? Well, I'm going to go to 2. I'm going to put a circle. I'm going to draw a line with an arrow, and it's going to go bigger than. So we're going to carry on up there. Morning, Aaron. Next, what about if I'm doing x is less than or equal to minus 4? X, we go to minus 4. Because it says or equal to, we colour in our dot. You have to, when you colour in a dot, you have to go, it's important. And you draw a line going to the left. So with all the numbers less than, we can even do some quite fancy stuff. What if x is less than 3, but bigger than minus 5? So now x is between. You notice how it's between two inequalities. What we do is we put a circle at minus 5 and a circle at 3. Check if either of them need colouring in. So we're going to have that one as or equal to. So we're going to colour in that one. And then the line goes between the two circles this time. Because if x is between 3 and minus 5, and it can be or equal to minus 5, then we write it like this. And then you might get someone come along and say, excuse me, what numbers does this represent? And you say, oh, well, thank you for asking. We look at our thing and we go, it does include minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, but it doesn't include 3. So we'll rub out that comma, and that would be all the integers. Because an integer is, that's correct, all those people shouting whole number at the screen, it's a whole number. So therefore we've got all the integers between minus 5 and 3. Now we can do this the other way round. In the next one, I encourage you, if you're not watching live, to feel free to pause the video as when we get that far. I'm going to rub off my questions. The sound for rubbing off sounds very similar to the sound for colouring in. Maybe I need to use some new sound effects. What about if I have this? I want my thicker black. How can I write this as an inequality? So you see this time I've got the line and I've got to write it. Feel free in the live chat. Anyone who's here with me in the live chat, write in what you think this would be. Now, it's very difficult to do the or equals sign. So what we do, if you're typing, you would write less than and then equals. You don't use a symbol. That symbol is possible using Word and using symbols. But if you're writing in like live chat like we are today, we use just less than or equal to. So I like to see what you're going to type in the live chat. We've got people live responding. They're 8 seconds behind me. So just about now, they're getting the original question. And we're going to get people starting to type. Hopefully, someone's going to say what they think this might be. I'm going to give you a clue. It will have an X in the middle. So that's a big clue. It's going to have an X. And we're going to have to say what number it starts at. I think you're going to start with a minus 4. And I think we're going to finish with a 3. So I think that bit's the easy bit. Is anyone in my live chat going to type in what they think this inequality is? based on what we've done so far. We got the -4 because that's where the circle is. We got the 3 because that's where the circle is. And we know that x is between it. So is anyone going to type in? We've got 4 or 5 people here. I'm not sure they're going to respond to me today. They're going, oh no, don't want to type into Mr. Harris. Not a problem. We're going to say is less than, and that's the less than symbol, or is less than and equal to 3. So x is great. So you can see if we're reading this way, if -4 is smaller than x, but x is bigger than -4, but smaller than 3. But it's smaller than or equal to. And we would obviously write that like that. But in typing, it would look like that. Very nice, Logan. I like that. I would just have my arrows the other way, I'm afraid. Because I don't think -4 is bigger than n. I think -4 is smaller than n. So I think it's very important. And I think you're nearly there, Willow, but you've missed one of your symbols. That's all you've done there. Okay. Bella, we're not going to multiply them together here. This is not a times. This is an x symbol, which means we just don't know x is one of the numbers. It could be that one. It could be that one. We just don't know which one. So let's try again using a new slide. And we line it up. This time, what is this inequality? It's a bit funny, this one. Well, actually, anyone typing into the live chat is going to type 2 answers. They're going to need to write 2 different inequalities for this one. It's not one because there are 2 separate bits. So what we would do is we'd say A and B. Let's see if anyone in the chat gets that. So Aaron's had to go equal to or greater than 3 and greater than -4. Nice. I think the symbol will be the other way round for that one, Aaron. I think it will be less than, equal to, or less than 3. Willow, I think that looks very good now. You did miss out the symbol, but it's there now. Okay, so I think this one here is going to be x is smaller than -5. And I think probably instead of an and, let's change it to an or. X is smaller than -5, or, because it can't be and, can it? X can't be smaller than -5 and, it's got to be or, hasn't it? X has got to be smaller than -5, or x is bigger than 6. So when you've got 2 separate bits, we have to have 2 separate bits. It would be called one inequality. It would say x is smaller than -5 or x is bigger than 6. So that's how you have like a split gap like that. Okay, so what we've talked about here is how we find drawing the numbers, how we find the inequality from the drawing, how we draw it when we get an inequality, and what inequalities mean. We've also talked about how we use integer values. Very, very good there, Logan. You've got both the ones I've got. So you'll see that in a minute. I'm sure you're just catching up to me. So hopefully you can see why everything matches together. And we remember that when we colour it in, if I had coloured this one in, instead of deleting it, no, I'm still on delete. If I had coloured this one in, we would then have to put a little line there. So that's the main learning we've done today. Okay, now the other thing we need to remember is, and I'm just bringing this up on my screen just to make sure I'm covering everything I want to do. Sometimes you can use it for words. So for example, if I've got the following, these are the words I'm going to use. I've got sentences that look like this. A is less than 4 is less than n. 4 is less than n. So what I need to do is for A, I need to write 4 is less than n. Now the way I'm quite funny about the way I like my work to be presented. I like to have a margin, keeping the question numbers from the answers. For B, n is less than -5. N is less than -5. For C, n is greater than or equal to -6. greater than or equal to. So draw the line and draw a line underneath. And finally, 6 is more than n. 6 is more than n. So that's how we would turn the word questions into inequality questions. And hopefully this will allow you to lead forward so that when you come on to doing solving inequalities, and I do have a video on my channel on solving inequalities, it makes some sense where this has all come from. So hopefully that has been helpful. So what I recommend you do now is make sure you fully understand everything on this video today, then go away and try that bite-sized quiz to see if you can get them right. And if you can, well done. If not, try it again or watch the video again. So that's all from me today. It's a short video, but that's because as a teacher, I've also got 5 periods today. So I'm trying to record videos in amongst my 5 periods. This is actually my break time at the moment. So I'm using school break time to record a video. So hopefully it's been valuable to you. Hopefully it's been useful. I've been Mr. Harris. You haven't. Look after yourself, take care, and I will see you again on Friday where we'll be doing some more stuff. Thank you very much. Goodbye.